Part 16. Are you crazy? If you become the leader of the clan, all the clan members will become emperors. Author, greedy for the body but not FO. Chapter 151. As the purple gold brilliance of the top spot shone down, the number 1 list also came out. Number 1 on the list of the top 10 forces in the Tiandeo ranking, Xiao family, established for more than 10 years. Since its establishment, the Xiao family's fortune has been extraordinary, and the family's geniuses have emerged in large numbers, including 2 generations of strong men, Xiao Wuxi and Xiao Xian. It has existed in the vast world with an invincible attitude for more than 10 years. The 3rd generation of the Xiao family should not be underestimated. Its top geniuses emerge in large numbers, and among the geniuses of the same age and level, they are almost invincible. In this demonic war, Xiao Xian single-handedly destroyed the entire Blood Knife sect. He closed the barrier of the demon world and single-handedly killed the withered skeletal martial god with 30,000 years of magic power. Single-handedly destroy the demons in the entire West and speed up the end of the demon war. The geniuses of the Xiao family should not be underestimated either. Xiao Jinjian, Xiao Yanyao, Xiao Zhangtian, and others. Use your absolute strength advantage to fight your way out of the siege in this demonic war. Kill countless demon generals. Sword Emperor Xiao Jiangxin, relying on the realm of martial arts cultivation, pacified the dangers of the 68 wild regions. Fighting against thousands of martial god-level demons, even a martial god blessed with 20,000 years of mana is no match for him. Empress Xiao Qingyun holds a jade seal and a palm print flowers bloom everywhere she goes. The endless imperial power directly crushes the powerful demons of the same level. Where the flowers bloom, the demons explode and die. Desolate Emperor Xiao Tianyun solved the danger of the demon clan and fought against dozens of martial gods blessed with 20,000 years of mana. Use your own strength to kill a powerful warrior god with 30,000 years of magic power. As the successor of Xiao Wuxi and Xiao Xian. The reason why this demonic war was able to subside within a month was indispensable to the Xiao family. In this war between demons and demons, heaven will reward you with 90% luck. The Xiao family owns 9 of them. Reward for the first place in the ranking list of the top 10 forces in the heavenly Dao, the aura of the family resident is 10 times richer. The number of talented children born in the family has increased significantly, and the family's resident enlightenment has increased by 60%. Receive blessings from heaven and a lot of luck from heaven. This time, your luck from heaven will increase tenfold. One after another deed-shaped characters appeared on the heavenly Dao ranking, and countless people were shocked by the Xiao family's achievements. Originally, they thought that the Xiao family, which had only been established for more than 10 years, was not worth mentioning at all. The result is such a family, in this time of the Devil's War, played a decisive role. If it weren't for them, the vast world would probably be gone. Is this the power of a top family? It's really powerful. Without the Xiao family, the vast world would still not be out of dire straits. The Xiao family is truly number 1. Even the Tiandeo ranking has expressed so much praise for them. At this moment, everyone in the vast world was shocked by the strength of the Xiao family. The creatures who had been saved by the genius of the Xiao family could not help but sigh. If it hadn't been for the Xiao family's intervention, I'm afraid they might not be able to stand here. At the same time, the Xiao family has also undergone tremendous changes. All the atomized spiritual energy has turned into a liquefied state. From a distance, it looks like a fairyland on earth. The children of the Xiao family also seized the time to break through. Such rich spiritual energy would help them practice with half the effort. Countless riots continued to break out from the Xiao family. The 9 core elders of the Xiao family also broke through to the realm of supreme domination at this time. At the same time, the 8 geniuses also broke through to the realm of martial gods and received heavenly rewards. At this moment, the momentum of Xiao Jinjian, Xiao Yanyao, Xiao Junlin, Xiao Zhangtian, Xiao Yan, and others was strong. They were constantly rioting, and the endless aura of the god of war instantly rushed into the sky. Originally, the luck of the Xiao family was still a bit unstable, but after all the 8 geniuses broke through to the martial god, the family's luck no longer slips away, and the Xiao family's strength has also been greatly improved. Xiao Xian also smiled with satisfaction. Then, the system's notification sound came from my mind. Ding! Congratulations to the host for completing the mission and receiving a massive luck reward since the Xiao family cannot digest so much. Now it is automatically converted into 50,000 years of mana, and the host can also receive 40,000 years of mana as a reward from the system. In an instant, endless Dao rhymes blessed Xiao Xian's body. Endless terrifying aura instantly broke out on him. Now Xiao Xian's strength, even if it reaches the heavens, can defeat the strong men in the Holy Realm. Ding! It has been detected that the family meets the upgrade standards and is now automatically promoted to a 9th grade family. Do you want to receive the reward? At this moment, the sound of the system came again. Xiao Xian's heart moved, and then he chose to receive the reward. Then he returned to the room and entered the system to check the rewards this time. Ding! The family is automatically upgraded to a 9th grade aristocratic family, and the host gains 100,000 years of mana. The Sutra Pavilion, Enlightenment Room, Jingxi Hall, 10,000 Swords Cave, and the Mountain Protector Sword Formation Family Station are automatically upgraded to the 9th level. Obtain 3 Imperial Spiritual Veins, various top seeds *10,000 units. Top Rare Mineral Veins 10, Top Rare Seeds 1000 units, a descendant of a legendary family. It is detected that both the host and the family children have reached the top level, so the distribution of the legendary children is postponed. Tibetan Scripture Pavilion, 9th grade. Increase the weight of martial arts and enhance the effects of martial arts. The hidden talent of the clan members increased by 60%, and the chance of comprehending the artistic conception increased by 60%. The king level and imperial grade exercises are automatically refreshed every day, and a royal level and top grade exercises are refreshed every half month. A book of holy exercises is automatically refreshed every year, and a book of holy and high grade exercises is automatically refreshed every 10 years. Enlightenment Room, 9th grade 9th floor, 1 layer of spiritual energy increases by 70%. The second level of spiritual energy is increased by 80%, and the third level of spiritual energy is increased by 100%. The intensity of the fourth layer of spiritual energy is increased by 10%, the intensity of the fifth layer of spiritual energy is increased by 20%, and the absorption of clan members is increased by 20%. The clan members' enlightenment increased by 90%, the spiritual energy at the 6th level was purified by 4%, the 7th level enabled a 1 to 4 time flow rate, and the 8th level enabled a 1 to 5 time flow rate. Family Head Jade Pendant, 9th grade. The mid-grade qualification for the birth of a family newborn increases by 60%. The birth of a newborn with high-quality qualifications increases by 60%, which increases the growth rate of the family's aura. It can be integrated with spiritual veins and family residences, and can help the host improve to a greater realm. Family residence, 9th grade. Automatically expands spiritual veins, generate spiritual fields, give birth to high-grade spiritual veins, and increase spiritual energy by 90%. 10,000 Sword Cave, 9th grade. Contains 10,000 swords in the world, the landing of divine weapons is increased by 60%, and you can obtain holy divine weapons. Mountain Protecting Sword Formation, 9th grade. Can kill all enemies in the vast world, contains the full blow of the family leader Xiao Xian. Heavenly Monument of Enlightenment, 9th grade. The chance of enlightenment for clan members is increased by 60%, and the chance of understanding the artistic conception is increased according to the opponent's talent. Can be superimposed with the Enlightenment Room to add attributes, only for family members. Monster Locking Tower, Level 9 randomly releases tasks, most of which are to capture monsters, evil spirits, and magic cultivators. Lock it in the Demon Locking Tower and issue rewards according to the capture level. At the same time, the host can also obtain the Destiny of Heaven, which can be converted into exchange points, and all living creatures can be suppressed in the Demon Locking Tower. Even if the opponent is a powerful person at the level of an unparalleled quasi-emperor, he cannot escape the fate of being suppressed. As the reminder for the family's promotion sounded, the Xiao family has undergone earth-shaking changes. Today, the Xiao family's spiritual energy has reached a peak. It can almost be called the existence of a fairyland on earth, and Xiao Xian himself once again gained 100,000 years of mana. At this moment, he already has the blessing of 300,000 years of magic power. Even a casual wave of the hand can easily break through the barrier of heaven. But because of this, Xiao Xian felt that heaven was rejecting him. This makes Xiao Xian a little helpless, as a cultivator at the level of the god of war. Once the mana blessing has reached a certain level, you need to go to the ancient starry sky river and enter the heavens. Although Xiao Xian's 300,000 mana blessing is not much, it has been contradicted by the law of heaven. But he couldn't enter the starry sky ancient river at this time. The blessing of 300,000 mana may be a very powerful existence in the vast world. But in the heavens, it is not enough to see. Not to mention that he offended so many enemies. In addition to the Wangxiang Heavenly Palace, there is also the Zhongtian Xiao family, and there is another demon son young emperor. No matter which one, it would make his head hurt, if he couldn't accumulate 1,000,000 years of mana. It's really a bit tricky for him to go up to the heavens. Back then, Xiao Wuxi only offended a Wangxiang celestial palace, but was personally hunted down by their young master. Although this happened to give him a chance to escape, it did not mean that the crisis was resolved. Therefore, Xiao Xian could only hide his own strength. Otherwise, heaven will really force him to enter the starry sky ancient river. Ding, the system has detected that the Xiao family's luck has reached its peak, and will be converted into mana to bless the host. The host is requested to seize the time to improve the strength of his cave, sea of consciousness and body so that he can bear it better. When Xiao Xian saw this, he didn't say anything more and fell directly into seclusion and practice. In the following time, Xiao Xian was practicing in seclusion. 10 years go by in a blink of an eye. Xiao Tianyuan, Xiao Qingyuan, Xiao Jiangxin, and others also received the blessing of 100,000 years of magic power. The other geniuses of the Xiao family have also made breakthroughs, and geniuses at the king and master level emerge one after another. Although they are not as powerful as Xiao Tianyuan, Xiao Jiangxin, and others. It is also a very terrifying existence in the vast world, and the Nanming royal court is also led by Xiao Qingyuan. Occupying almost the entire vast world, southern Xinjiang can now be said to be the center of the vast world. The Xiao family dragon and tiger list created by Xiao Xian has become a monitoring platform for the strength of the geniuses in the vast world. Every year the dragon and tiger ranking opens, it attracts a large number of geniuses to come and compete. In addition, the 9 elders of the Xiao family have also broken through to the half-step martial god realm. Only one step away from becoming the god of war, the Xiao family is now the strongest in the vast world. Although the geniuses at the back are not as good as Xiao Tianyuan and others, they are still a giant presence outside. Xiao Xian also passed on the position of head of the family to Xiao Tianyuan, and now he stays in the back mountain all day long. Except for a few geniuses, only the 9 core elders can see him. The rest of the time, he was constantly making breakthroughs in cultivation. On this day, Xiao Xian slowly opened his eyes, and a terrifying aura burst out in his eyes instantly. At this time, he already looked like a young man in his 30s. Even if the 9 elders haven't seen him for a long time, it is impossible to recognize him. Feeling the continuous increase in his own magic power, he slowly breathed out. Then he stood up and walked outside. This time of retreat was the longest. But it was also the time when he gained the most. Now he has the ability to enter the heavens. As soon as he stepped out of the door, he saw Xiao Yan and Gu Qinjiao waiting at the door. Looking at the two people standing side by side, with eyes full of each other, Xiao Xian couldn't help but sigh. These two people have finally achieved enlightenment. At the same moment, when he looked at Gu Qinjiao, he thought of Wang Shu. The woman who had been waiting for him for countless eons, and the grief and reluctance she felt when she left. Everything touched his heart, and a trace of sadness flashed across Xiao Xian's face. "Why are you two here?" Gu Qinjiao glanced at Xiao Yan, and then took a step forward. "Master, I know young Emperor Mozi's plan. I thought you would be out of seclusion today, so I came to inform you." Xiao Xian raised his eyebrows slightly when he heard this. "You mean, you know the plan of young Emperor Mozi?" "Yes, he knows my secret, and I also know his secret." When Gu Qinjiao said this, a trace of resentment flashed on his face. "Say it," Xiao Xian nodded lightly. Young Emperor Mozi found a secret method from ancient times, allowing his 9 direct descendants to gain millions of years of mana. Then he devoured these 9 direct descendants himself, and finally found the place where the quasi-immortal died. Find the essence and blood of the quasi-immortal, absorb it, and finally help yourself become an immortal. Gu Qinjiao repeated all the plans of the Mozi young emperor to Xiao Xian. "I originally thought that Xiao Xian would be very surprised, but I never thought that the other party would just chuckle." Xiao Yan and Gu Qinjiao looked at each other in surprise, and then looked at Xiao Xian. If immortality could be achieved so easily, there wouldn't be so many restrictions. A person as powerful as the Thunder Emperor will not fall because of this. To become an immortal requires not only great opportunities, but it also requires great perseverance to break the shackles that are impossible to break, and finally become an immortal with absolute strength. A person like the Demon King can only be called a pseudo-immortal. Gu Qinjiao smiled bitterly and shook her head. Even if he is just a pseudo-immortal, with someone like Mozi young emperor, it is also a disaster for the common people. When he becomes a false immortal, it is also the beginning of the disaster for the whole world. Xiao Xian raised his eyebrows. "Yes, in that case, let's destroy the conditions for him to become an immortal. Although he is just a pseudo-immortal, he is still an invincible existence in this world. Now that my master's magic power has exceeded 1 million years, it is not a problem to destroy one of the young emperor's plans. Where is the place where the quasi-immortal fell? If it brings trouble to the young emperor, my master is still happy to do it." The feud with the young emperor demon child has lasted for more than a day or two, at least this much. In Zhongtian Lin family, where Lin Fifen's family resides. Xiao Yan took a step forward and told Xiao Xian the place where the quasi-immortal died. This was what he and Gu Qinjiao spent a lot of effort to find. Xiao Xian raised his eyebrows and smiled meaningfully. "It turns out to be there. In that case, let's go and take a walk. Are you crazy? If you become the leader of the clan, all the clan members will become emperors." Author, greedy for the body but not FO. Chapter 152. Then Xiao Xian delivered a secret message to the great elder Xiaoji Unfeng. "Send a greeting note to the Zhongtian Lin family and tell them that I will visit the Zhongtian Lin family in half a month." The Zhongtian Lin family is the second largest force in the vast world. Even a slight cough can cause a commotion. However, after receiving the invitation from the Xiao family, such an existence appeared. The entire senior staff of the Lin family gathered together and looked at the head of the family with solemn expressions. At this time, Lin Fifen was already the head of the Lin family. He is the eldest son of the Lin family, and he has the blood of immortals. He is also the head of the family. He brought the Lin family to another level, and he was the one who overcame all difficulties during the demonic war. Let everyone spare no effort to help the boundless world, and this will make the Lin family more prosperous. At this time, he had broken through to 100,000 years of mana. If it were not for the existence of Xiao Xian, Xiao Tianyuan, and others, he would be a terrifying existence in the vast world. However, compared with them, it seems too ordinary. Patriarch, Xiao Xian, the head of the Xiao family, has not stepped out of the Xiao family for 10 years. Why did you suddenly send greeting cards to our Lin family? I don't know how strong Xiao Xian, the head of the Xiao family, is now. Could it be that he has exceeded 100,000 years? It must be more than that. Xiao Tianyuan and other geniuses in their family have 100,000-year magic power, not to mention Xiao Xian. I'm afraid it's more terrifying than this. I just don't know what his intention is when he comes here this time. Could it be? Suddenly, a senior elder looked at Lin Fifan with a horrified expression. A flash of panic flashed in his eyes, and Lin Fifan naturally knew what he meant. Even if he doesn't want to admit it, this is true. After all, there is nothing else that the Lin family can fancy Xiao Xian except the place where immortals die. Damn it! He actually dares to plan for the immortal death place in our ancestral land. One of the senior elders was furious and said with a glare. So what if he wants to kill the immortals? What can we do to him? As soon as these words came out, all the senior staff fell silent. We were no match for him 10 years ago, let alone 10 years later. He just wants to force his way in. Can we stop it? In front of him, it was just the power of a finger. The original Xiao Xian was too powerful in the vast world. So much so that whenever he is mentioned now, people's first reaction is that they cannot beat him. It can be seen how breathtaking Xiao Xian was in the vast world. Lin Fifan looked at everyone with a solemn expression, please give me instructions from above. Now this is the only solution. As time passed, Xiao Xian's figure also appeared in front of everyone in the Lin family. The head of the Lin family, Lin Fifan, was already waiting at the door, his posture neither humble nor arrogant. He respected Xiao Xian without losing his identity as the head of the family. When they saw Xiao Yan and Gu Qinjiao coming with Xiao Xian, Lin Fifan burst out with boundless fighting spirit and was ready to fight Xiao Yan at any time. However, Xiao Yan simply ignored the fighting spirit that burst out from Lin Fifan. He gave him a faint smile. After all, Lin Fifan's strength was not enough in front of him. Now, except for Xiao Tianyuan, Xiao Qingyuan, Xiao Jiangxin, and others, he is no longer afraid of anyone. Lin Fifan couldn't help but smile bitterly in his heart when he saw the indifferent look on his face. The aura on the other party's body was already superior to his own. Now the gap between him and Xiao Yan is simply incomparable. The move he just made may not be acceptable to the other party at all. Xiao Xian on the side was no different from an ordinary person. Even if you don't pay special attention to watching, you will unconsciously ignore this person. Therefore, Lin Fifan did not dare to neglect, took a step forward, and saluted as a junior to an elder. Junior Lin Fifan has met senior Xiao Xian. Xiao Xian is no longer the head of the Xiao family, so Lin Fifan uses the honorific title of senior. Xiao Xian smiled lightly, obviously satisfied with his thoughtful etiquette. Master Lin, there is no need to be polite. I guess you already know the purpose of my visit this time. Lin Fifan nodded respectfully, but this matter cannot be decided by me, Zhongtian. I have to ask Senior Xiao Xian to meet with me, the people from the upper realm of the Lin family in Zhongtian. In that case, you can lead the way. Xiao Xian smiled lightly. In the secret room, a man was already waiting inside. Although it was just a projection of the heavens and the upper realms, the aura erupting from his body was terrifying. The pinnacle state of the unparalleled quasi-emperor Xiao Xian could see this person's cultivation state as soon as he came in. Seeing this, the man slowly turned around and looked at Xiao Xian. You have such good eyesight that you can actually see through this emperor's level of cultivation at a glance, this Emperor Kang Yun. Xiao Xian nodded, not showing any signs of timidity because of Kang Yun's praise. Emperor Kang Yun didn't think there was anything wrong with Xiao Xian's attitude. You can enter the immortal death land, but after you enter, no matter what happens, our Lin family will not bear the consequences, and the Xiao family will not come to trouble us when the time comes. If your Xiao family comes to trouble us, our Lin family will not give up. That's natural. Our Xiao family are not unreasonable people. Xiao Xian nodded. Emperor Kang Yun saw this and continued, but after you enter the immortal death land and come out, if you can grow to the level of a titled emperor, you need help with one thing. Xiao Xian frowned slightly when he heard this. Kang Yun naturally knew Xiao Xian's concerns, and then said, "Don't worry, this is paid. And our head of the family will not ask you to do anything excessive." The head of the house also said, "It's up to you to decide whether you want to go or not. The head of the family just hopes to meet you then." When Xiao Xian heard this, he nodded, "Okay." Emperor Kang Yun also smiled slightly when he saw this. "In that case, we will wait for the day when you come to the heavens. I believe that with the blessing of your million-year magic power, you will surely set off a frenzy in the heavens." Then the figure of Emperor Kang Yun disappeared in front of everyone. And what Emperor Kang Yun said before leaving shocked everyone present. Millions of years of mana. Xiao Xian actually has millions of years of magical blessing. How long has it been? He has been practicing in seclusion for only 10 years. He actually received millions of years of magical blessing. How do you practice and do this? Shocked as it is, what needs to be done is still done. Senior Xiao Xian, please come here. Lin Fifan quickly recovered from the shock. Then they took Xiao Xian to the place where the immortals died in their ancestral land, and soon everyone came to an ancient cave. Xiao Xian didn't waste any time and entered the cave directly. In an instant, a stream of immortal energy floated out from inside, surrounding everyone. Lin Fifan looked at Xiao Xian who entered the cave and sighed slightly. Even the ancestors of our Lin family dare not enter the deepest part of this immortal place of death. Even the last time I entered, I only dared to wander around the outside. The danger inside was unknown. When Xiao Yan heard this, he took a step forward. Our family master will definitely be able to enter the deepest part. Lin Fifan was a little shocked when he heard this, and then understood. Xiao Xian has millions of years of magic power in his body, which is very rare in the entire vast world. Maybe, he can really come back from the deepest place. At the same time, Xiao Xian has entered the land of immortal death, and from time to time, the charming sounds of various spirits can be heard in his ears. There were even invisible spirits attacking around him, although they could not cause any real harm to people. But for cultivators with low cultivation level, it is an extremely fatal blow. These are just a small trouble for Xiao Xian. He just wants to shake his body slightly. All these noisy disturbances disappeared in my ears, and I walked further inside. Then words that could confuse people appeared, and Xiao Xian directly exploded the 9-turn golden body on his body. The surrounding spirits, ferocious beasts, and magic circles were all destroyed. Xiao Xian also followed the system's prompts and came to an ancient place. A drop of beating blood appeared in front of him. The aura emanating from it was telling Xiao Xian that this was the active immortal blood he was looking for. I really have to thank the young emperor, otherwise he really wouldn't know that there is active blood essence here. Ding, the system has detected the blood of immortals. Do you want to absorb it? After absorbing it, you can gain immortal power. And it can be converted into millions of years of mana. Will the host absorb it? Xiao Xian was a little surprised. After all, under the supervision of heaven, mana could no longer be accumulated after millions of years. The system seemed to know what he was thinking, and explained it to him directly without waiting for Xiao Xian to ask. This is a small world, and the small world is not monitored by the rules of heaven. When Xiao Xian heard this, he no longer hesitated and plunged directly into the blood of the immortal. Then his body kept rioting, and auras containing immortal power surrounded him. Time passed slowly, and Xiao Xian had been here for 5 years. In the past 5 years, Xiao Yan and others have not left the Lin family. Lin Fifan was also constantly competing with Xiao Yan during this period, but each time ended in failure. This day, there was a huge noise in the ancestral land, and endless momentum burst out from the back mountain. Endless immortal auras spurted out from the ancestral land, and the Lin family's aura was also strong at this moment. Everyone looked at each other and immediately rushed to their ancestral land in the back mountain. When they arrived at the scene, they saw Xiao Xian, dressed in white, standing in front of the cave with his hands behind his back. The aura of immortality constantly bursts out from his body, making people feel that he is a quasi-immortal in this world. But what's even more shocking are the countless celestial eyes surrounding him, as well as the frightening iron chains. Above his head, a huge black and white eye appeared. Everyone saw this and knew what it meant. Heavenly Dao is already urging Xiao Xian to enter the starry sky ancient river. And this is under the premise that Xiao Xian is public in the vast world. If he were an ordinary person, he would have been forced to the starry sky ancient river by heaven. Xiao Xian looked at the giant eyes above the sky and smiled, then waved and looked at Xiao Yan. Xiao Yan, come here. I'll tell you a few things. Xiao Yan and Gu Qinjiao rushed forward immediately, and Xiao Xian smiled and patted him on the shoulder. Do you still remember what I told you before? Now it's almost time to verify it. When the time comes, as long as you work together, you can overcome the past, not to mention the Xiao family behind you. And I will also be waiting for your arrival in the heavens. Xiao Yan looked at Xiao Xian with reluctance in his eyes. I understand, Xiao Yan will send you off to the head of the family. Then he knelt on the ground and said goodbye to Xiao Xian, and the scene of meeting Xiao Xian for the first time flashed in his mind. Without him, he would not be what he is now. In his heart, Xiao Xian is just like his father. Seeing this, Xiao Xian nodded lightly, and then looked at Lin Fifan and others. The quasi-immortal essence and blood in the immortal Deathland has been absorbed by me, and the ferocious beasts inside, as well as formations and spirits that can confuse people's hearts, they have also been eradicated. Now this place of immortal death is already a blessed place. Although it has absorbed the immortal blood of your Lin family. But with your strength, even having it is not necessarily a good thing. The land of immortal death contains endless dangers, which have now been resolved. In the next million years, there won't be any changes at all, and you, the talented disciples of the Lin family, can also enter here to practice. This can be regarded as my feedback and reward for you. Hearing this, everyone in the Lin family was overjoyed. Although this land of immortal death contains the blood of immortals, there are also endless crises in it. Furthermore, if this land of immortal death is really targeted, even the people from the heavens will come to help. Nor can it solve the urgent need. Now Xiao Xian absorbed the essence and blood of the quasi-immortal and gave them feedback. This is also a good thing for them. Then Xiao Xian jumped up and headed towards the sky. If you don't go, Juyan will take action himself. Xiao Xian's figure soon appeared in front of the entrance of an ancient world barrier. Almost at the same time, a huge picture opened in the vast world. A real-time live broadcast of Xiao Xian setting foot on the starry sky ancient river. Someone wants to break into the starry sky ancient river. It seems to be Xiao Xian, the head of the Xiao family. What? Even the head of the Xiao family wants to break into the starry sky ancient river. I didn't expect that after Xiao Wuxi, the second person to break into the starry sky ancient river would also be a member of the Xiao family. I wonder if he can ascend to the heavens unharmed. Yes, after all, he has offended so many powerful people. I'm afraid those people have been waiting for him for a long time. Among those people, no matter which one he is, he can make people miserable, and he offends 3 people at once. Oh, I hope he can survive safely. The moment everyone saw the picture, they all turned their attention to the sky. As the most powerful person in the vast world, Xiao Xian has offended several such powerful people. Therefore, everyone is looking forward to what choice he will make next. Immediately afterwards, everyone saw a burst of white light flashing in the sky. As Xiao Xian's figure flickered, the world barrier also shattered. Then Xiao Xian jumped up and entered the ancient river in the starry sky. Everyone was surprised when they saw this scene. For ordinary people to enter the world barrier, it takes a lot of hardships. Even Xiao Wuxi pointed out a finger, but this Xiao Xian. But directly use your body to open the world barrier? No. To be precise, Xiao Xian not only used his body to open the world barrier. Even the monsters in Starry Sky Ancient River were able to deal with all their attacks directly with their own bodies. In addition to smashing a powerful God Emperor level statue, he also broke into the belly of a 4 million-year-old ancient beast. And then he was knocked out from the inside. No one realized what was going on. The ancient beast was smashed into two halves by Xiao Xian's body. Its flesh and blood instantly spread across the ancient river in the starry sky, and endless bloody energy was transmitted. Even the 4 million-year-old inner elixir was broken by Xiao Xian. Everyone felt a burst of pain when they saw this. It's really a drought and a flood. They need it but they can't get it. What you don't need is at your fingertips. Then Xiao Xian continued to hit other ancient beasts that were attracted by that ancient beast. Killing all the way, we finally came to the entrance of the world barrier. Seeing this, countless people were shocked when they saw this scene. This is not the dangerous Starry Sky Ancient River. It is clearly the best channel for Xiao Xian to practice his flying speed. At the entrance of the barrier of the heavens, Xiao Xian made no move and directly exploded with momentum. The endless momentum instantly hit the world barrier of the heavens, and then the world barrier shattered. Everyone. Has Starry Sky Furukawa become more aggressive, or are they too weak? As the fragments of the world barrier fell down, endless thunder could not stop ringing. Xiao Xian's figure also entered the world entrance of Zushan at this moment. In full view of everyone, Xiao Xian burst out with 2 million years of magic power. And at this moment, transformation, breakthrough, and promotion began. Everyone. At the same time, several terrifying powerful auras came from the entrance to the world of heavens. And they were all locked on Xiao Xian. You are listening to Novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. Are you crazy? If you become the leader of the clan, all the clan members will become emperors. Author, greedy for the body but not FO. Chapter 153. The world barrier of the heavens was shattered due to Xiao Xian's violent impact. Repairs have also become very slow, waiting for the world barrier to be repaired completely. Those sudden terrifying auras once again shattered the newly condensed world barrier. Therefore, everyone in the vast world can see the world of the heavens clearly. While they couldn't help but sigh with emotion about the heavens and the world. Huge changes took place in Xiao Xian. Waves of terrifying aura instantly broke out on him. The endless power belonging to the powerful warrior god continues to break through the sky. In the depths of his sea of consciousness, a void world gradually condensed. And it is getting bigger and bigger, and the momentum it exudes is getting more and more terrifying. With the blessing of 2 million years of mana, Xiao Xian's cultivation realm is also constantly making breakthroughs. Then he broke through to the realm of unparalleled quasi-emperor cultivation. However, this is just the beginning. As Xiao Xian continued to absorb and transform, his cultivation realm also broke through from a god-man to a god. After reaching the divine emperor realm, we came to the threshold of the half-step supreme emperor, and this was also called the half-step saint. The terrifying momentum did not end here, the endless pressure continued to impact the barriers of the heavens and the world. Xiao Xian's cultivation realm is still improving, and now he is only one step away from the saint. The momentum erupting from Xiao Xian's body was magnificent and boundless. Just when Xiao Xian was gathering strength and preparing to break through in one fell swoop, several terrifying auras appeared in front of him. Want to break through? Have you asked us? A steady voice came from above. Then there was a huge palm, which pressed down from the sky in an instant. The heavenly Dao barrier shattered by the endless palm power once again, and the terrifying momentum swept across the sky in an instant. Because the entrance to the world of the heavens is connected to the exit of the boundless world. It is the weakest place in the space, even a saint can easily crush it. This person has already launched an attack on Xiao Xian, even if he can break through in the next second. If you don't catch this move, you can only be suppressed on the spot. Therefore, Xiao Xian had to give up the breakthrough and use the waning moon sword. With the sword in the air, the terrifying sword force instantly defeated the strong man's killing move. Then he looked at the person who attacked him with cold eyes. Humph, no wonder you dare to go against my Vientiane heavenly palace, this ability is really interesting. But since you have come up to the heavens, I have unlimited opportunities to kill you. If the Holy Sun hadn't personally gone after Xiao Wuxi, your life would have been saved by the Holy Sun himself. But it is also an honor for us to be able to solve the Holy Sun's serious problem. Yes, since you have set foot in all the heavens and worlds, just accept death. No matter how powerful you are in the vast world, it doesn't matter. In all the heavens and worlds, we have the final say. Several powerful men from the Vientiane heavenly palace locked their territory on Xiao Xian. And he intercepted all possible escape routes for Xiao Xian, vowing to kill Xiao Xian here. When the vast world heard this voice, it was directly shocked. Xiao Xian broke through to the realm of a half-step saint as soon as he entered the world. The Vientiane heavenly palace even sent 5 saint-level powerful men to kill him. This scene makes all sentient beings in the vast world a little overwhelmed. Xiao Xian is worthy of being the number 1 person in the vast world. He broke through to become a half-step saint when he first entered the heavens. So what, meeting a saint isn't just the same as death. If he breaks through to the saints, he still has a chance to fight them, or find a chance to escape. But now a half-step saint has no chance of winning. Now that Xiao Xian has entered the world and encountered a crisis, Xiao Wuxi should come to rescue him. Xiao Wuxi can't protect himself, how can he save him? We don't even know whether he is dead or alive. For a time, everyone in the vast world was talking about it. No one is optimistic about Xiao Xian. After all, the difference between a half-step saint and a saint can be said to be thousands of miles. Xiao Xian is an invincible existence in the vast world, but in a place where there are so many powerful people in the world. There is no way he is as comfortable as he is now. At this time, everyone in the Lin family was also watching the scene in the sky. Although Xiao Yan looked solemn, he still had great confidence in Xiao Xian. Jiazu will definitely be able to win from them. Gu Qinjiao also nodded, although Lin Fifan recognized Xiao Xian's strength. But it doesn't mean that he agrees with Xiao Yan's views this time, facing the 4 saints. No matter how powerful he is, he can't escape from them. At the same time, everyone in the Xiao family in southern Xinjiang looked at the sky with gloomy expressions. They all had angry murderous intent on their faces, including Xiao Tianyun and others. There was only one thought in my mind. Revenge. Jamal Xiao's face showed a fierce look, and the thunderous fighting spirit in his body couldn't help but explode. When I ascend to the heavens, the first thing I will do is to destroy the heavenly palace of all things. Jamal Xiao has a calm personality, but now he can't help but express his anger in the past. He didn't even hide the murderous intention in his heart, which shows how deep his hatred for Wang Xiang Tiangong is. Xiao Yanyao on the side also kept making risque remarks, but at this time no one felt that what he said was wrong. When I ascend to the heavens, I will definitely shed blood on all things in the heavenly palace. Let you understand that ants are just ants after all. Xiao Jiangxing clenched the sword in his hand and frowned. The head of the family will definitely be able to break through the difficulties. All the geniuses on the dragon and tiger list standing behind them also burst out with terrifying murderous intent at this moment. Although Xiao Tianyun was worried about Xiao Xian, he still had confidence in his strength. Don't worry, Uncle Xian will definitely be able to break out of the siege. Xiao Tianyun looked calm and spoke to comfort everyone. His tone was very sure and without any doubt. Xiao Jiangxin also echoed, what an amazing and talented person the master of the house is, others don't know. But we know best that a few saints cannot cause any harm to the family head. Even the Empress Xiao Qingyun expressed agreement with their words. Yes, to be able to become the head of the Xiao family, even those ancient great men admire him. It can be seen that the master's ability is so outstanding, but now this is just a stumbling block. When everyone heard the words of Xiao Tianyun and others, their hearts suddenly relaxed. The owner of the family, Xiao Xian, is so mysterious and powerful that even the ancient powers cannot avoid him. Not to mention the several saints in front of him. Then everyone turned their gaze to the sky. The eyes of the four powerful men from the Vientiane heavenly palace were filled with murderous intent. The saint domain locked Xiao Xian, and one of the strong men took action directly. Above the sky, a silver-gray sword swept towards Xiao Xian. The endless power of the sword shakes the sky, and its power can break through the void. Die to me. The elder was fierce, and the clanging sound of the sword shocked people's hearts. Facing this blow, Xiao Xian looked calm. With his big palm facing up, the waning moon sword appeared. With a wave in the air, boundless sword energy broke through the sky. The sword surged forward like a long dragon and directly collided with the elder's blow. Keng. The terrifying power shattered the already fragile barrier once again. The ancient star beast among the eternal stars was instantly turned into ashes by this power. Are you crazy? If you become the leader of the clan, all the clan members will become emperors. Author, greedy for the body but not FO. Chapter 154. The power of the sword remained unabated, heading towards the elder of the Wangxiang heavenly palace with the force of a rainbow. The elder's expression changed drastically, and he used the knife as a shield to block his chest. Boom! After a collision, the elder's body was knocked flying onto the ancient beast behind him. The ancient beast was knocked out of a huge human-shaped mouth. The bloodstains on the elder's body could not be distinguished for a while. The other three saints looked solemn when they saw this. Obviously they didn't expect Xiao Xian to have the ability to leapfrog challenges. Therefore, the three of them looked at each other and launched a killing move on Xiao Xian without hesitation. Faced with the simultaneous attacks of the four powerful men in the realm of saints, Xiao Xian still didn't take it seriously. Why do you still want to kill me? You are overestimating your own capabilities. The heaven-swallowing sword technique. Suddenly, the sky and the earth changed colors, the stars rotated rapidly, and the ancient beasts fled in horror. Under the ultimate sword light, the heaven-swallowing sword technique swallowed up everything in the eternal stars. Everything in the heavens was swallowed up by the heaven-swallowing sword technique and was annihilated into ashes. Even the four powerful men in the realm of saints in the Vientiane heavenly palace. Under such a blow, he had no ability to fight back. As the sword light disappeared, the powerful auras of the four saints also disappeared. With one sword, four saints were annihilated. Hiss! How terrifying is this level of strength? Who would have thought that Xiao Xian's fighting power could be so terrifying? Even four saints attacking at the same time were unable to withstand the power of his sword. Everyone in the vast world once again had a new understanding of Xiao Xian's strength. However, they didn't wait until they recovered from Xiao Xian's terrifying fighting power. A huge hand appeared in the sky. That palm moved towards Xiao Xian with an unstoppable power that could kill everything. A huge mushroom cloud exploded in the sky instantly. When the mushroom cloud dissipated, Xiao Xian's figure also disappeared. See this scene. Everyone showed incredulous looks. What? Xiao Xian is dead. Without any warning, he was killed. Everyone fell into silence for a while. The person who was so stunning just a moment ago was beheaded the next second. It can be seen how frightening the opponent's strength is. At this time, a male voice with a demonic sound came into everyone's ears. If you offend our demon king, no matter how talented you are, you will only die. This person caused an uproar when he appeared. It turned out to be the great sage. Only the great sage has the ability to kill all the saints with one strike. The demon clan actually sent a powerful person at the level of a great saint to kill Xiao Xian. And there are still two of them. This shows how threatening Xiao Xian is in their eyes. The two great saints didn't take it seriously when they saw this. Young Emperor has indeed thought carefully. If I hadn't sent you and I might have forced Xiao Xian to escape. Yes, if he really sets foot in the heavens, it will be much more difficult for us to find him. Humph, the young emperor is wise and knows things well. He knows that Xiao Xian has the ability to kill beyond his level, so he should stop it from the source. The two people's discussion attracted the attention of everyone in the vast world. At this time, everyone in the Zhongtianlin family expressed deep regret. A generation of legendary geniuses has fallen like this. What a pity, what a pity. Xiao Yan, you. Everyone looked at Xiao Yan before hesitating to speak. I wanted to say some comforting words, but found that I didn't know how to speak. Gu Qinjiao held Xiao Yan's hand tightly with a distressed look on her face. She and Xiao Yan had been getting along day and night for so many years, until Xiao Xian existed in his heart. Now that Xiao Xian was beheaded, he must feel uncomfortable. Xiao Yan's face was solemn, and his eyes were full of murderous intent, but his eyes were extremely firm. It's just two great saints who want to kill the head of the family. It's the most ridiculous thing in the world. However, these words did not attract anyone's agreement. In their eyes, Xiao Yan has now entered a state of madness. If they say something to irritate Xiao Yan, they might do something. At the same time, when the geniuses of the Xiao family in southern Xinjiang saw this scene, they were also furious, and at this moment, their bodies couldn't help but burst out with overwhelming murderous aura. How could the head of the family be killed like this? Damnable demons! I, the Xiao family, are at odds with you. As long as I live for one day, I will kill every one of the demons I see. Even the surrounding forces felt the terrifying aura erupting from the Xiao family's geniuses. In order not to provoke these terrifying existences at the pass, they even called their own forces back to avoid the limelight. The master of the house will be fine. Jamal Xiao was full of confidence in Xiao Xian, even though his face was full of worry. It's just two great saints. The head of the family is as easy as crushing an ant. How could he die? Xiao Yanyao followed. The head of the family has never done anything wrong. It's ridiculous that two great saints want to kill the head of the family. Uncle Xian's strength is mysterious and powerful. Even the ancient great masters are in awe of him. A mere great sage cannot hurt him. Others may die, but he won't, because he is Xiao Xian. Xiao Qingyun's voice was extremely cold, but it had a calming effect. Everyone in the Xiao family also restrained their momentum after hearing Xiao Qingyun's words. But the murderous intent in his eyes remained undiminished. They already have a common goal in mind for the heavenly palace of all things and the demon race. Revenge. At the same time, the world barrier entrances of the heavens are slowly merging. When the two demon sages saw this scene, they laughed coldly. People of the Xiao family, listen up. From today on, we will be stationed here. Whenever you, the people of the Xiao family, come to heaven, the fate of your family leader Xiao Xian is your tomorrow. I'll kill everyone I see. Just because of you, you want to come to the heavens, and I don't even look at whether your status is worthy of it. After the two said these words, they threw their heads back and laughed, and their words were even more arrogant. When everyone in the vast world heard this, they immediately felt disgusted. Keep guarding here. This is to make the Xiao family extinct. No matter how powerful the genius of the Xiao family is, it is impossible to compete with a powerful person at the level of a great sage. Even their family leader Xiao Xian could not escape the fate of being killed. What's more, they are geniuses like them. Therefore, everyone looked in the direction of the Xiao family in southern Xinjiang with great sympathy. After all, such a family is very rare, if it cannot reach the heavens. It will perish in 30,000 years at most. Everyone in the Xiao family looked towards the sky with resentment. Whether you can go to heaven or not is not the most important thing. The important thing is to avenge the head of the family. This is sworn hatred. Just when the two great saints of the demon clan sneered and were about to turn around and leave, an indifferent voice came from the sky. Have you ever asked me if the genius who stopped me from going to the heavens of the Xiao family has asked me? Are you crazy? If you become the leader of the clan, all the clan members will become emperors. Author, greedy for the body but not FO. Chapter 155. Leave. Did you get my permission? This voice revealed unshakable power. Everyone felt shocked when they heard this sound. What? Even the two great sages of the demon clan looked surprised. The two men immediately turned around and stared at the entrance of the world barrier with fierce expressions on their faces. The world barrier that was about to merge was the moment the sound sounded in this area. It was torn open again, and a huge gash instantly appeared in front of everyone. You're not dead. The two great saints turned and glared at Xiao Xian. Even if they didn't see him, the voice was very familiar to them. Sure enough, in everyone's surprised eyes, Xiao Xian, holding a long sword and dressed in white, gradually appeared in front of everyone. As he stepped forward, the world barrier that was about to heal behind him also shattered. The moment everyone in the vast world saw Xiao Xian, they were even more excited. He's not dead. How did he escape? I don't think it's necessarily an escape. Who can escape so calmly? Is it possible that the one just now was just his clone? After all, he had a precedent of using clones to defeat the reincarnated emperor before. I don't know, no one has ever seen Xiao Xian's true strength. Look, Xiao Xian seems to have broken through the saint. What? It's impossible. How long has it been? How did he do it? Break through the saint in such a short period of time. Now we have a good show. A saint can kill 4 saints with half a step. He is a saint now. I wonder if these two great saints can handle it. Maybe these two great saints will be killed instantly. Xiao Xian is a representative figure of mystery. Yes, with Xiao Xian's ability, these two great saints are probably no match for him. Xiao Xian's appearance also made Xiao Yan and Gu Qinjiao feel relieved in the Zhongtianlin family. Although they were not worried that Xiao Xian would die, they were still worried about his safety. Even Lin Fifan looked horrified after seeing Xiao Xian appear. Able to escape from two great saints and even break through in a short time. Xiao Xian is still the first person. At the same time, everyone in the Xiao family in southern Xinjiang was also excited. All the geniuses on the dragon and tiger list couldn't help but shout wildly. Great! The old master is not dead. It's the old patriarch. I knew the old patriarch wouldn't die so easily. The two great saints can't do anything to him. Now that the old master has made a breakthrough and returned, it's time for these two great saints to die. When everyone said this, their faces were full of expectations. Since Xiao Xian is immortal, it proves that he has enough strength to defeat the two great saints of the demon clan. So what if he is a powerful person at the level of a great sage? The head of their family is the best swordsman in ancient and modern times. What's more, the expressions of the geniuses in front have not changed until now. It can be seen that they have full confidence in Xiao Xian. As expected, Xiao Tianyun looked at the sky and spoke slowly. Since Uncle Xian was able to break through right under their noses, it proves that he has absolute strength to kill them both. Yes, the head of the family never does anything he is unsure of. As long as he comes forward, there is no chance of failure. Xiao Zhangtian has great confidence in Xiao Xian. It's just two ancient saints. The head of the family only needs to stretch out his hand to suppress them. At this moment, the head of the family is in the heavens, just in time to use the blood of the two of them to declare to the world. Xiao Yanyao's face was solemn, and his eyes were firmly looking towards the sky. Not long after, when I ascend to the heavens, I will use my red peak spear to turn the heavens upside down. Above the sky at this time, the two great sages of the demon race stared intently and looked angrily at Xiao Xian, who was slowly walking towards them. Terrifying coercion erupted from their bodies, and endless killing intent raged on them. At this moment, Xiao Xian was as mysterious and unpredictable as if he was banished to an immortal. I didn't expect you to have this trick. It's a pity that you shouldn't have come out. One of the great sages looked at Xiao Xian with a sneer. Xiao Xian's eyes were cold and indifferent, and his body kept emitting terrifying aura that shattered the void. His voice was extremely cold, with an undeniable majesty. Since I appear here, your lives will also remain here. It's really ridiculous, another great sage shouted angrily. Then his own momentum exploded, sweeping across the sky in an instant, causing the sky to tremble. So what if you break through to the saint? You will still be like an ant in front of the great saint. Xiao Xian curled his lips indifferently, then you can give it a try. Xiao Xian's words completely angered the two of them. As soon as they took a step, a roar came from the sky. Endless lightning and thunder, the sky shattered, and the void trembled. Snakes chirping and phoenixes dancing. A snake-shaped cave world erupted behind a great sage, and countless small snakes swept towards Xiao Xian. He is a giant of the snake clan, possesses the bloodline of his anti-ancestor, and is now at the level of a great sage. This attack can directly determine life or death. The gun breaks the sky. Another great sage waved the silver gun in his hand, and the shadow of the silver gun continued to wave in the sky. It drives the airflow in the space, as if it is going to tear Xiao Xian and void apart on the spot. The power of the great sage is not insignificant. Wherever it passes, the sky shakes and the void breaks into pieces. When everyone in the vast world saw this scene, they were all shocked and speechless. Two powerful men of the great sage level attack at the same time. Can Xiao Xian really resist them? Under the gaze of everyone, Xiao Xian's expression remained unchanged, and the waning moon sword in his hand was suspended in the air. Sword rises. Under the incredible gazes of everyone, the waning moon sword emitted bursts of golden light. And gradually spread, the golden light brought with it a breath as hot as the scorching sun. Sword meteor star. The waning moon sword instantly erupted with a terrifying momentum. The endless brilliance couldn't help but expand outwards in all directions. The immeasurable sword power swept across the entire ancient road of the galaxy, and countless ancient beasts were reduced to ashes by this sword. Above the sky, a golden light could be seen sweeping all around. As its name suggests, wherever the sword passes, stars fall, and stars are shattered. Rifts of dazzling light and sun-like heat burned the entire barrier of the heavens and worlds into a furnace. Under the double attack of sword energy and high temperature, the killing moves of the two great saints were defeated. The power of the sword continued unabated, and the moment it broke through the killing move, it rushed towards the two of them. With a collision, the two of them were instantly knocked away by the sword. The body hit a star behind him, creating a huge mushroom cloud. He finally managed to stabilize his body, feeling bursts of shattering pain in his body. The corners of his mouth couldn't stop spitting out turbid blood. Xiao Xian looked at the two of them coldly, and controlled the waning moon sword with his index and middle fingers together. The sword fell. The body of the waning moon sword trembled violently, and even the sky was shattered by the trembling sound. You are listening to Novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. Are you crazy? If you become the leader of the clan, all the clan members will become emperors. Author, greedy for the body but not FO. Chapter 156. The boundless golden sword glow instantly filled the entire ancient road of the galaxy. Wherever the golden light passes, it reaches the boundless stars or ancient beasts that are 4 or 5 million years old. They were all swallowed up by this light instantly, as if there was nothing in the world barrier of the heavens that could stop him. At this time, the waning moon sword was like a sword emperor, commanding all swords. The sound of swords continued to be heard in the sky, and even the swords in the vast world were deeply affected by it. If they were not suppressed by the rules of heaven, I am afraid that all these swords and weapons would swarm up and worship the sky. The two great sages looked horrified when they saw this, and they used their own killing moves to resist. However, the defense of the two of them was undoubtedly like an egg hitting a rock, under this endless sword brilliance. In vain, at the moment when the light surrounded them, the two of them let out a hoarse wail. No. As the sound stopped suddenly, the figures of the two great saints also disappeared from the sky. After the golden light disappeared, everyone once again saw Xiao Xian dressed in white. At this time, he exuded a formidable and powerful aura. Seeing this blow, everyone in the vast world was shocked and couldn't help themselves for a long time. And Xiao Xian's sword will also be recorded in the history of the vast world. In the next tens of thousands of years, it will not be surpassed by anyone. The entire vast world also fell into a state of silence at this moment. A saint who has just made a breakthrough. A powerful man who actually killed two great saints with one sword. How shocking this is! When they looked at Xiao Xian's eyes again, they couldn't help but shudder in their hearts. This is a kind of fear and awe that comes from the bones. However, Xiao Xian did not leave just because of this. Amid everyone's doubtful gazes, he slowly turned around and looked at the ancient road of the galaxy behind him. No emotion could be seen in his eyebrows. But this scene gave everyone in the vast world a bad premonition. Xiao Xian fell into silence looking at the ancient road of the galaxy in front of him. After a while, he slowly raised his hand. The waning moon sword in his hand also slowly floated in the air as if it was being guided. When everyone saw this scene, the bad premonition in their hearts deepened. Is it possible that he wants to cut off the ancient road of the galaxy that connects the heavens to the vast world? No, even a quasi-mortal can't cut off this ancient road. No matter how powerful Xiao Xian is, he still can't do this. I know what he wants to do. This sentence soon caused a commotion in the crowd. Xiao Xian wants to cut off the connection point between the ancient road of the galaxy and the heavens, so as to achieve a random effect. Cutting off the connection points is equivalent to turning an open road into countless unknown roads. In this way, if you want to enter the world of heavens from the ancient road of Zing, it will become a random mode. Xiao Xian is paving the way for the descendants of their Xiao family. When everyone heard this, they suddenly felt bitter in their hearts. Xiao Xian paved the way for the descendants of the Xiao family, but it was difficult for them. A wide open road has already made it difficult for countless powerful warriors to reach it. Now the random mode makes it even more difficult for them. As Xiao Xian's sword fell, the world barrier entrances of the heavens gradually merged. The last connection between Xiao Xian and the vast world also completely disappeared at this moment. After doing all this, Xiao Xian was about to leave. But suddenly I felt a familiar breath. That was what Xiao Wuxi was exuding, but this aura became more powerful than before. But he didn't understand why Xiao Wuxi didn't want to come forward to meet him. Even when he came here, he was observing in secret, and left after knowing that he was not in danger. Moreover, the other party didn't know what method he used to block his perception of him. To be able to do this, one must at least be at the level of a great sage. After thinking for a while, Xiao Xian stopped worrying about it. Since he doesn't want to see himself, it means there is some reason. Then he headed into the distance. After Xiao Xian left, several figures appeared at the entrance to the world barrier. When they saw the people who had been killed in front of them, they all showed fierce eyes. When he saw that the connection points of the ancient galaxy road were also cut off, he roared angrily. And the news that Xiao Xian gradually entered the heavens spread quickly. At the same time, the Vientiane Heavenly Palace and the Tianfan Xiao family also sent their own strong men to check. Several people chased in the direction where Xiao Xian left. At the same time, in the palace of young Emperor Mozi. After the young emperor learned the news, he immediately became furious. Damn it! Xiao Xian, you and I are at odds with each other. The young emperor is very troubled by people with power like Xiao Xian. They are just like barefoot people who are not afraid of wearing shoes. No matter how you deal with them, they will not be afraid. I can even fight you with my life. Now Xiao Xian and Xiao Wuxi have come up to the heavens. The heavens are so big that even he can't find them easily. What's more, after Xiao Wuxi came to the heavens last time, he specially sent people to hunt him down. As a result, no one was found, and he also lost a lot of powerful people. Now there is another Xiao Xian, and the young emperor has an even bigger headache. That feeling of wanting to kill but not being able to kill can make him go crazy. Thinking of this, he thought calmly and then spoke slowly. Send the order and ask all those who are chasing Xiao Xian to come back. We are waiting for them to become stronger. The man was confused when he heard this, but he didn't dare to ask. The young Emperor Mozi was in a state of moodiness and anger, and he might lose his head before he could say the next sentence well. The young Emperor Mozi also showed a sinister smile after the man retreated. Gu Qinjiao, you are such a good daughter of this emperor. You actually helped an outsider to show off to me. When the young emperor said this, he almost gritted his teeth. It seems that you even killed your own mother for the so-called lover. Since you are like this, then I will. Thinking of this, the young emperor paused again. Although Gu Qinjiao helped Xiao Xian obtain the immortal blood from the land of immortal death, allowing him to successfully enter the heavens. But her special physique and sacred heart can help her achieve her plan. My good daughter, don't you think that the only place where immortals die is in the boundless world? There are so many small worlds, and you are not the only one of my descendants. Then a black mist erupted from his body, and his cultivation level also showed signs of loosening at this moment. Are we finally going to break through to the title of Great Emperor? Then he entered seclusion and practiced. After Xiao Xian left the world barrier entrance. I don't know how many years of walking I finally came to a continent. This continent is so huge that it can accommodate even the powerful God Emperor fighting here. Just when he was about to find a place to start practicing, a notification sound came from the system. Are you crazy? If you become the leader of the clan, all the clan members will become emperors. Author, greedy for the body but not FO. Chapter 157. Ding, the system detects that the host has arrived at a high plane level, and the system enters upgrade mode. The 100,000 years check-in mode is now enabled, and the host can choose any location as a fixed check-in location. You can sign in once a day. Each time you sign in, you can get a genius treasure. After 100,000 years, you can get redemption points and luck rewards. Xiao Xian was stunned when he heard the prompt sound. Will this sign-in time be too long? 100,000 years. But 100,000 years later, there will be endless luck rewards and redemption points. Since the system gives a vague concept, this number proves to be extremely tempting. Therefore, Xiao Xian waited again and checked it somewhere in the mainland. Then he jumped into a canyon. After exploration and considering the advantages and disadvantages of the terrain, Xiao Xian finally chose a canyon. Then the exchange points were consumed and exchanged for a sword array, which was used as a defensive sword array in the canyon. No matter how worried he was about the exchange points, he still needed to prepare a lot of things. 100,000 years is not a short time, if it happens within this period of time. If a strong and capable person comes to cause trouble for him, there must be someone who can temporarily withstand the attack. Otherwise, if the position is moved again, the 100,000-year check-in will have to be recalculated. That would be too uneconomical. After doing all this, Xiao Xian looked at the entrance of the canyon and always felt that something was missing. Then with a wave of his hand, several big characters suddenly appeared on a big rock next to the canyon. Ask the Sword Valley. These three big characters condensed all his insights into the way of the sword, which is something that no one can comprehend. If a swordsman with a long understanding of swordsmanship sees this, he will be greatly blessed. Then Xiao Xian released Bifang, Qianqi, Roaring Sky Dog, and Three-Legged Golden Crow. Each of you should perform your duties, Xiao Xian said lightly, and then entered the canyon. Bifang took the sycamore forest and chose a flat land to plant it. Jinwu found a valley with a hibiscus tree seedling. Qianqi chose a place to sacrifice the demon-locking tower. Roaring Sky Dog hugged his dog bowl and slept soundly at the entrance of the canyon. These four ancient ferocious beasts are all bound to themselves, so they came to the heavens. The system has already collected them all, and even brought their binding objects with them. Xiao Xian came to the heavens this time and was fully prepared, except for the ancient ferocious beasts around him. Xiao Xian left the other buildings at the Xiao family residence. Even if he doesn't bring these, Xiao Tianyun and the others will. Ding, the system has detected that the task has started. Does the host enable sign-in? Xiao Xian nodded without hesitation when he heard the prompt, sign in. Sign in successfully, the host will receive 4,000 redemption points. Xiao Xian raised his eyebrows. 4,000 redemption points were too few, but how about 4,000 every day? This is not a small amount. Then Xiao Xian began to practice in this canyon. And the heavens did not change in any way because of Xiao Xian's intrusion. Even if his talent is unparalleled, he is still just a saint. As time passed by in a hurry, 50,000 years passed quickly. Xiao Xian's cultivation realm also broke through to the supreme realm with the help of system sign-in. At the same time, the sound of thunder and lightning kept coming from the sky, attracting countless people to watch. Xiao Xian's mind moved and he raised his head to look at the sky. This scene was the same as when he broke into the heavens, but he was sure that it was not the shock caused by someone breaking into the heavens. Has someone broken into the Emperor's Mark Monument? Xiao Xian looked towards the sky and saw the wind and clouds surging over there, and countless thunder and lightning exploding in the sky. This was a voice from the outside world that further confirmed his suspicion. This is the vision over there at the Emperor's Mark Monument. Someone is going to break into the void and all realms. Looking at it like this, we are almost inseparable. I don't know which emperor is going to break into the Emperor's Mark Monument. You'll find out after you read it. It's one thing to break into the Emperor's Mark Monument, but it's another thing to be able to pass it or not. Although the Imperial Mark Monument is the only path for the titled emperor, if you fail to pass through it, you will suffer backlash. And the backlash will increase exponentially. If it fails, then it's the end. There are quite a few emperors who have been swallowed by the Emperor Mark Monument. If it were really that simple to become a titled Great Emperor, there wouldn't be so many people stuck in the title of Great Emperor. Then everyone turned their sights to the sky. A shocking scene happened. The one stepping into the void turned out to be the Demon King, the Demon Son. It's the Demon Clan. It's the young Emperor Demon Son. I didn't expect that he would come to prove the title of Great Emperor. I don't know if he can succeed. After all, Being titled the Great Emperor is not that easy. Everyone was talking about this. Even Xiao Xian showed a hint of surprise when he saw the figure of young Emperor Mozi. At this time, the young emperor couldn't help but erupt with a terrifying aura. The overwhelming fighting spirit is constantly being released in the sky. The surrounding airflow was also shocked by this force and flowed backwards. A huge vortex was formed, and the long knife in his hand was swung continuously. Countless stars were shattered by it, and the sound of collisions was endless. The terrifying fighting spirit can be felt even through the screen. Even the veteran titled emperor opened his eyes to explore everything at this moment. The momentum of the demon clan Demon Sun young emperor was so strong that even they had to give way. At this moment, the young emperor was already standing near the Emperor Mark monument with a long sword in his hand. When everyone saw this scene, they exclaimed again and again. The title of young Emperor Mozi is secured. Although it didn't take long for him to become the great emperor, this power is indeed something that even a titled great emperor would be afraid of. It seems that the young emperor demon child has been planning this for a long time. He is indeed very sophisticated. The young emperor Mozi ignored everyone's gazes and comments. I saw him slowly raising his hand, and the long knife caused the void to tremble as he moved. A flash of extreme sword light instantly appeared in front of everyone. Suddenly, the power of the sword broke through the restrictions of the Emperor's Mark monument, and a terrifying aura erupted. Immediately afterwards, only the sound of shattering was heard, and the restriction of the Imperial Mark monument was destroyed. Countless people looked at the scene in front of them in shock. The name of the young Emperor Mozi slowly appeared on the Emperor Mark monument. Everyone's eyes widened in disbelief. The Emperor's Mark monument left the young Emperor's imprint like this. The young Emperor Mozi actually became the titled Emperor. If it hadn't been for the radiance that belonged to the titled Emperor, they would all have thought they were dazzled. The young Emperor of Demon Sun, the contemporary Demon Sun, is given the title, Demon Emperor. Wow! As soon as this title came out, all the onlookers were shocked. Demon Emperor. That has an identity that can convince the entire demon clan. None of them expected that the Imperial Monument would give the young Emperor such a high title. At this time, the young Emperor erupted with a terrifying aura unique to the titled Emperor. Seeing this scene, the young Emperor smiled proudly. Are you crazy? If you become the leader of the clan, all the clan members will become emperors. Author, greedy for the body but not FO. Chapter 158. However, the smile in this scene was filled with the ultimate bloodthirsty atmosphere. Xiao Xian looked calm when he saw this. He knew what the young emperor's move meant. He took advantage of this opportunity to prove the title of Great Emperor to establish prestige for himself, and sent a warning signal to those who opposed him. But this was nothing to fear for Xiao Xian. At this moment, his eyes were extremely indifferent. As the picture disappeared, Xiao Xian once again entered into seclusion and practice. Now all he needs to do is to keep practicing hard and break through the title of Great Emperor in the shortest possible time. 49,900 years have passed in the blink of an eye, and there are less than 100 years left before the system's 100,000-year check-in. Xiao Xian woke up from his enlightenment and felt the changes in his current strength. He couldn't help but feel a trace of emotion in his heart, recalling the geniuses of the Xiao family. Xiao Xian felt a little nostalgic in his heart, and didn't know how those little guys were developing now. Xiao Xian is still very relieved about the strength of the Xiao family's genius. The 100,000-year reward sign-in gave Xiao Xian endless insights and magic weapons. During this period, Xiao Xian renovated the inside of the canyon. Today's canyon is like a fairyland on earth. All kinds of precious holy medicines are everywhere. There are everything from spiritual flowers and spiritual herbs to rare spiritual roots. In addition, Xiao Xian also obtained a book of heavenly treasures. This treasure book of the heavens records all the secrets and important matters of the heavens and the world. There are no longer any racial distinctions here. Monsters, demons, humans, orcs, giants, etc. The territory of each racial war drama is different, although they are all of the same race. But that doesn't mean it has to be a concerted effort, just like the demons. Today's young emperor has become the titled emperor, even if he comes in person. It is impossible to kill all these races, and it may not even be possible to conquer all the demons. This shows how terrifying the demon race alone is. The heavens and the world are divided into 4 star fields, each of which contains hundreds or thousands of stars. Each star is a galaxy that is tens of thousands or even millions of years old. Even a giant like the Vientiane Heavenly Palace only occupies one of the galaxies. Each galaxy contains other infinite life forms. In the center of the border between galaxies is the Zushan continent. The spiritual energy contained in Zushan continent is the main source of spiritual energy for other galaxies. It can be seen how terrifying the aura of Zushan continent is. In the heavens, the truly powerful forces are gathered there. As the center of the heavens, it contains restrictions that even quasi-immortals cannot shake. Before the beginning, Zushan continent was originally a complete continental plate. But at some point, it was destroyed by a strong and powerful opponent. The complete continental plate is divided into countless small galaxies, forming 4 galaxy fields. Xiao Xian learned all of these from the Book of Heaven, and some from hearing other people's discussions. Then Xiao Xian once again entered into seclusion and practice. 100 years have passed in a hurry. In 100,000 years, the reputation of Wenjian Valley has also become famous far and wide. Everyone knows that there is a peerless sword cultivator practicing here. Many people came here to gain insights in front of Wenjian Valley. And they all received feedback and rewards from Xiao Xian. This day, 2 girls appeared in this area. The 2 of them looked about the same age, but their cultivation levels were very strong. The 2 of them have even reached the realm of God Kings, which shows how incredible their talents are. Although there are human races in the heavens, there are very few strong and powerful people who can truly make people fearful. The 2 girls in front of them have the cultivation of God Kings at such a young age, which shows that their talents are extraordinary. Xiao Xiao, are you sure you can find your ancestor here? A woman asked the girl next to her. The girl who was called a little girl shook her head, not necessarily, but I have to try to find out. The 2 ancestors of the Xiao family are among the heavens. If they can be invited to come forward, the crisis our Xiao family encountered can be easily solved. Speaking of this, Xiao showed a look of reverence on his face. But it's not a problem for you to look for it like this. If you want me to see it, it's better to use the treasure to invite strong people. It will come faster that way than searching aimlessly like this. Although Xiao didn't want to admit it, he had to accept this fact. She has heard the legendary deeds of the 2 ancestors of the Xiao family since she was a child, so she has a high admiration for them. This time there was a crisis in the family. Her first thought was to find the 2 ancestors. Ling what you said is not bad. Just try it according to your method. After all, the other party is only in the supreme realm. Xiao took Yu Ling'er's hand. Yu Ling'er was speechless after hearing this. In her eyes, a powerful person in the supreme realm is just like a minion. But she also had to admit that Xiao was extremely talented. Although the 2 of them looked about the same age, she was actually 5 times older than her. Moreover, the other party can easily suppress his own cultivation realm. Even in some aspects, she was no match for Xiao. Xiao, I already inquired about it when I came here just now. There is a sword-asking valley here. Anyone who makes insights in the Wenjian Valley can be rewarded with feedback from the Valley Master. That Valley Master is said to be a peerless swordsman. Do you want to go here and give it a try? Yu Ling'er held Xiao Xiaoxiao's hand and rolled her eyes. Xiao, why don't you try to go there to understand the sword's intention? If you can get the Valley Master's favor, maybe you can even become your disciple, and then you can ask him to help your family solve the crisis. With your swordsmanship talent, maybe the Valley Master will recognize you as his apprentice. Yulinger became more and more excited as she talked, and even pulled Xiao towards Wenjian Valley while talking. Xiao was a little concerned about this. In her mind, she didn't want to become a disciple of anyone else except that one. Only such a being is worthy of becoming his own master. She wanted to refuse, but this was the best way to solve the family crisis. Okay, let's go try it. You are listening to Novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. Are you crazy? If you become the leader of the clan, all the clan members will become emperors. Author, greedy for the body but not FO. Chapter 159. The speed at which the two were traveling shocked the surrounding onlookers. In a short while, they arrived at Wenjian Valley. Yulinger looked at the Wenjian Valley in front of her and felt that it was just an ordinary valley. It's not as magical as the legend says. The rumored Wenjian Valley is nothing more than that, Gang just muttered. Turning around, he saw Xiao falling into realization. A terrifying aura erupted from his body. Waves of overwhelming sword intent erupted from her body. Although Yulinger felt extremely shocked, she also knew what to do at this time. Instantly open your own domain and lock the surroundings within your own domain. Something even more surprising happened to her. After Xiao fell into realization, he could not help but feel the sword intent emanating from his body. It attracted the powerful people around, not only many powerful people at the level of God King. Even the mighty God Emperor appears here. Xiao, who was caught in a realization, naturally didn't know. At this moment, she only felt that there was endless abundant sword intent surging in her body. Even the bottleneck that has been unable to be overcome is showing signs of loosening at this moment. Yulinger looked around vigilantly, ready to fight at any time. At this moment, a powerful man of the God Emperor level walked over. Yulinger looked at him with a wary face. The powerful man smiled calmly, "Don't be afraid, girl. No one dares to hurt your friend in this valley of sword asking." Yulinger was confused when she heard this, and she was obviously dubious about his words. The powerful God Emperor next to him also smiled. "This is your first time here, girl. Ask the Master of Sword Valley for his rules. Whenever someone is comprehending, no one can interrupt, even if they are not the powerful God Emperor or the Supreme Realm. Anyone who violates this rule will be punished by Wenjian Valley." There was once someone who did not believe in evil and wanted to interrupt the enlightenment of a genius swordsman, but was later torn into pieces by the sword energy of Wenjian Valley. Yulinger was surprised. Even the powerful people in the Supreme Realm are not looked down upon. How powerful is the Master of the Sword Valley? If Xiao can become his apprentice, this family crisis can be resolved. Yulinger looked at Xiao expectantly. With her qualifications, she can definitely be favored by the Master of Wenjian Valley. At this moment, Xiao was completely immersed in this sword intent. In her sea of consciousness, a domineering sword intent was constantly impacting. At the same time, her aura and cultivation realm were also improving. The endless terrifying sword intent couldn't help raging outwards. Lines of golden sword intent visible to the naked eye surrounded her. This girl is so young, but she has such a high talent for swordsmanship. She is a rare genius in swordsmanship. Even God Emperor Ming couldn't help but sigh at her. Even I feel like I am being impacted by her sword intent. The people around were shocked when they heard what God Emperor Ming said. Emperor Ming is a famous figure in the swordsmanship. It can be said to be the existence of the ceiling in swordsmanship. Being able to make the existence of a ceiling feel like an attack. It can be seen how terrifying this woman's understanding of the sword is. After hearing these words, Yulinger held her head high and looked at everyone with pride. Of course, our little one's understanding of the art of swordsmanship is something that few others can match. At least in the past tens of thousands of years, I have never seen anyone more powerful than her. Not to mention the powerful God King, even the powerful God Emperor, at least 5 or 6 people died in her hands. Everyone was even more shocked when they heard these words. This woman looks young, but she is already a God King. He also has the ability to leapfrog and kill the powerful God Emperor, and his understanding of the sword is also outstanding. If you continue to grow with this qualification, becoming the great Emperor will not be a problem. At this time, a strong sword intent erupted from Xiao Xiaoxiu's body. Endless golden sword intent continued to emanate from her body. The majestic sword power makes people feel that the sword power can swallow up the world. What a terrifying sword intent! It actually made me feel like I was being attacked. Retreat quickly. Otherwise you and I will be devoured by this woman's sword intent. God Emperor Mingzhi was the first to leave. This shows how terrifying this woman's sword intent is. I have been here to realize for tens of thousands of years that this woman is the first genius to comprehend the sword intention of the Valley Master from the Wenjian Valley. Everyone was shocked by the terrifying aura erupting from Xiao Xiao Xiao. At the same time, the raging sword intent also stopped at this moment. Xiao 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 opened her eyes, and a terrifying golden sword intent burst out from her eyes. Swallowing heaven sword intent. At this time, the sword intent that stopped raging instantly condensed into a golden sword. The endless terrifying sword force swept across the sky like a rainbow. All the spiritual energy around him converged towards Xiao 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 at this moment. All the swords were trembling as if they were guided by something. It was as if they were bowing down to their king. Xiao Xian, who felt this change, looked at the entrance of the cave in surprise. Someone actually understood my sky-swallowing sword intention. Since he started the sign-in mode here, many people have come one after another. Although there are some who understand the sword intention from it, most of them are their own sword intention. And he will also give them feedback on some of the treasures nearby, or treasures of heaven and earth. But as his cultivation continued to make breakthroughs, no one had understood the meaning of the sword for tens of thousands of years. Unexpectedly, it would happen when he was about to complete his 100,000-year check-in. It's really interesting to see someone who understands the meaning of his sky-swallowing sword. Then Xiao Xian looked at the roaring dog at the door, and a message reached its ears. Then roaring sky dog stretched his body lazily and walked towards the entrance of the cave. Xiao Xiao Xiao, who understood the meaning of the sky-swallowing sword, not only gained a deeper understanding of the way of the sword. Even her cultivation realm has broken through a new level. Even the bottlenecks that could not be overcome before were realized at this moment. At this moment, she can be said to have reached a stage of sublimation. Upon seeing this, Yulinger trotted over quickly, still shouting. Xiao Xiao, do you know that you just broke the record? The sword cultivator here said that in the past tens of thousands of years, you have the first person to realize the Valley Master's sword intention. Your talent will definitely be noticed by the Valley Master. Onlookers all around also came forward to congratulate him. Congratulations, you are the first person to understand the meaning of the Valley Master's sky-swallowing sword. Yes, you are the only one who has understood the way of swordsmanship in the 10,000 years since the Master of Wenjian Valley. I don't know what kind of feedback the Sword Valley Master will give you. In the past, those sword cultivators only had a superficial understanding, but they all had great opportunities. Yes, since you have understood the Valley Master's swordsmanship, the feedback will definitely not be small. The people around him are all old men who have lived for thousands or even tens of thousands of years. Xiao 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 is not big in bones, but he has such talent at a young age. Not only can he surpass the level of the God King to kill the powerful God King, but he can also understand the swordsmanship of the Master of the Wenjian Valley. It is always right to fawn over such a talented person in advance. Xiao saw that no one had any ill intentions, so he nodded and smiled in response to them. At the same time, a large amount of spiritual energy came from the entrance of Wenjian Valley Cave, and the surrounding creatures included sword cultivators. They all took the time to absorb the spiritual energy emanating from the cave entrance, which shows the purity of its spiritual energy. As the door of the cave opened, a huge black dog gradually appeared in front of everyone. Seeing the roaring dog's appearance, everyone hurriedly stepped forward and saluted to show their respect. Seeing this, Xiao and Yu Ling also followed the crowd and saluted. Although the two of them were surprised, they also knew that the cultivation level of this big dog was higher than theirs. Even the Supreme Realm is not its opponent. Roaring Sky Dog didn't understand this and walked directly to Xiao. Although he has been practicing in the heavens for 100,000 years, he still cannot speak. It's not that it's not strong enough, it's just that it still has a little chance. Xiao looked at Roaring Sky Dog without knowing why, but the other party did not speak. But she could understand its meaning. You mean the owner of the valley wants to see me? Roaring Sky Dog nodded, then turned and walked towards the entrance of the cave. Xiao quickly followed its footsteps, but soon stopped. She looked at Yu Ling behind her and said timidly, "Can I bring my good friend with me?" The onlookers around were surprised when they heard this. In all these years, the master of Wenjian Valley has never let anyone enter Wenjian Valley. This little girl has received such a great honor that she actually wants to bring other people into it. If you offend the master of Wenjian Valley, don't say you can't bring your friends in. Even she might be turned away by the master of the Sword Valley. Yu Ling naturally knew the consequences of Xiao Xiaoxiu's words. She wanted to speak to stop her, but she had already spoken out her words, and even if she said nice things, people might not listen. I didn't know what to do for a while. Roaring Sky Dog turned to look at Xiao behind him. A trace of dissatisfaction flashed across his eyes for a moment. But soon it received Xiao Xian's voice transmission, and then nodded to Xiao. Seeing this, the people around him suddenly showed envious expressions. Just asking for feedback from the master of Sword Valley can already give people great opportunities. Not to mention being invited into the cave by the Lord of Sword Valley. Who knows what kind of opportunities they can get? Maybe he might be accepted as a disciple by the master of Wenjian Valley. Xiao and Yu Ling looked at each other, then nervously followed the footsteps of Roaring Sky Dog into Wenjian Valley, holding hands. As soon as the two stepped into Wenjian Valley, the environment in the valley changed dramatically. Qiangliuyu is filled with spiritual energy, and there are countless spiritual fish in the crystal clear stream. Unknown cranes, spiritual beasts, and even flowers and plants all have spiritual roots. It's actually the fire cloud tree with the top 10 spiritual roots. This is very expensive outside. If the fire cultivator can obtain this, it will be twice the result with half the effort. And it can also help break through 3 small realms. This is a treasure that countless fire cultivators seek but cannot obtain. Yu Ling pointed at the fire cloud tree and exclaimed loudly. It's not that she has never seen the world, but the fire cloud tree is almost extinct in the world. Although Xiao was also surprised, she had seen a lot about the family's scripture pavilion and the secret realm. Therefore, she was not made to lose her composure like Yu Ling. Then the two of them followed the footsteps of Roaring Sky Dog and came to a pavilion and waterside pavilion. The pavilions and water pavilions are built on the creek, and fat fish jump across the water from time to time. A crane flew over and took it away in one bite. This scene also caused Yu Ling to exclaim. The red gold koi just now? If we can take it out, we will need at least 100,000 spiritual crystals. The spiritual energy of spiritual crystals is much richer than that of spiritual stones, and it is also the main currency in the heavens. In addition, there are many flowers and plants, which are also valuable. Any one of them can get a warm response in the heavens. However, such spiritual flowers and spiritual grasses are like weeds here. Oh my God! It's actually the divine consciousness grass. It's said that obtaining the divine consciousness grass can help the divine consciousness to break through. And you can also open your own sea of consciousness. No matter what level of cultivation the other party is. The master of Wenjian Valley actually fed such spiritual grass to the crane. What a waste of natural resources! Yu Ling'er couldn't help but exclaimed when she saw this. Although Xiao on the side was also surprised, he still reached out and held Yu Ling'er. Then he looked at Roaring Sky Dog with an apologetic look. It's not that Yu Ling'er has never seen the world, but the people and things here are really amazing. If she hadn't come into contact with such treasures as the Sutra Pavilion and the Enlightenment Room in her family, she will only lose her temper more than Yu Ling'er. Although the roaring dog cannot speak, it can express its emotions through movements. At this moment, it stopped and looked at Yu Ling'er with cold eyes. If it weren't for the fact that Xiao Xian invited the other person in, it would have taken action against this person long ago. Let alone the realm of cultivation as a god king, so what if she is in the supreme realm? As long as it wants to, it can solve things with just one paw. Yu Ling'er shuddered all over after seeing Roaring Sky Dog's eyes. Then he hid behind Xiao, the moment he looked at Roaring Sky Dog. She felt like she was being stared at by the god of death. This was the first time she experienced that bone-chilling cold. As they traveled along, the two discovered many strange and rare flowers and plants. Even the aura around it has gradually turned into a liquefied state, and you can still feel mist when you reach out and touch it. At this time, the two heard the cry of monkeys not far away. As the distance got closer, a group of golden monkeys appeared in front of them. The innate spiritual root tree known as the fire cloud tree became their habitat. Xiao, look, those are bi-gold fire cloud monkeys. They are not only spiritual beasts, but also natural winemakers. If you can get one, you will have endless spiritual wine to drink, and this spiritual wine also has the effect of improving your cultivation level. But what's a pity is that the bi-gold fire cloud monkey is not easy to catch. Even if it is caught, it will also die in depression while being imprisoned, unless it is voluntary. After Yu Ling'er was warned by the roaring dog, she still couldn't help but exclaim in a low voice. But this time, he whispered in Xiao Xiaoxiao's ear. Xiao smiled helplessly. This girl was good at everything, but she was too talkative. The arrival of the two did not cause panic among the Baijin fire cloud monkeys. On the contrary, they stared at them with curious expressions. The roaring sky dog passed by the group of green gold fire cloud monkeys with a calm expression. At this moment, a huge green gold fire cloud monkey appeared in front of the two of them. Xiao and Yu Ling'er recognized him at a glance. He was the Baijin fire cloud monkey king. It's actually the Baijin fire cloud monkey king. Rumor has it that just by smelling the wine it brews, it can sublimate the soul. If you take a sip, not only your cultivation level can be improved, but also your spiritual level can be improved. Even the mana will increase for thousands of years. This is also the rare thing about Monkey King wine. No matter how much she restrained herself, Yu Ling'er still couldn't help but scream out in surprise. When the Monkey King heard Yu Ling'er's exclamation, he turned his head and looked at the two of them. Then he looked at Roaring Sky Dog and made gestures with his hands. I saw the Roaring Sky Dog shaking his head and umming again. Then the two saw the Baijin Fire Cloud Monkey King staring at them for a long time. Then he turned around and left. Then two adult Baijin Fire Cloud monkeys brought two bamboo tubes. The refreshing aroma of wine wafted out from inside. Yu Ling'er and Xiao looked at each other. This Monkey King was bringing them wine. Catch it quickly. Although this monkey wine is not as good as the Monkey King wine, it can also improve your realm. Yu Ling'er took the monkey wine with joy on her face, and at the same time she didn't forget to urge Xiao. Looking at the monkey wine in her hand, Yulinger was extremely excited. With this monkey wine, her breakthrough to the divine emperor realm is just around the corner. Xiao 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 took it with a calm face, and then bowed to the Baijin fire cloud monkey. When receiving favors from others, there should be no less etiquette. Soon, the two came to a mountainside. There was a man in white wearing a bamboo hat and fishing with a fishing rod in his hand. Although they couldn't see his front, his aloof aura had already attracted the two of them deeply. He feels like he is one with heaven and earth. The moment Xiao 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 saw this figure from behind, he felt an inexplicable feeling of familiarity in his heart. It's just that I couldn't remember where I had seen it for a while. At this moment, the man in white slowly turned around, and Xiao Xiao's eyes widened in shock at this moment. Are you crazy? If you become the leader of the clan, all the clan members will become emperors. Author, greedy for the body but not FO. Chapter 160. The moment Xiao Xian turned around, Xiao 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 felt that his soul was shocked. That feeling cannot be expressed in words. Xiao Xian didn't pay that much attention, the reason why he let them in. I just want to see what kind of genius the other party is. After all, there are not many juniors who can understand her sky-swallowing swordsmanship. At this time, the Baijin Huoyun Monkey King brought several bamboo tubes containing the newly brewed Monkey King wine. This time, please add the fruit of the fire cloud tree, which bears fruit once every 3,000 years, to the Monkey King wine. Xiao Xian just smelled it and knew the brewing materials inside. The Bigold fire cloud monkey was a little monkey that he rescued 100,000 years ago. At that time, he was building Wenjian Valley, and happened to see the monkey being bullied by a vicious beast. Then he took action to save it. Who would have thought that the little monkey would directly bring the monkey group? Not only does he help him manage Wenjian Valley in an orderly manner, but he also regularly delivers Monkey King wine to him. This is its way of repaying its favor. Thinking of this, Xiao Xian couldn't help but feel a little emotional, took a sip of the Monkey King wine, and showed a pleasant smile. After a moment, he looked at Xiao 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 and Yulinger. Seeing Xiao Xian's gaze, Yulinger didn't dare to neglect. He hurriedly greeted him and said, "Junior, I have met the master of Wenjian Valley." After saying that, she looked at Xiao 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 who was standing aside, and he stood there blankly looking at Xiao Xian. This was the first time that Xiao 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 had lost his composure like this. When she reached out and pulled Xiao Xiao Xiao, she realized that the other party actually shed 2 lines of tears. His words and deeds revealed a deep sense of excitement. Then Xiao Xiao Yi knelt on his knees and kowtowed to Xiao Xian. This scene frightened Yulinger. Xiao 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 has a very high temper, except for her father. But no one could make her kneel down, even if the other person held a knife to her neck. She would rather die than surrender. This uncharacteristic behavior now really frightened Yulinger. Even Xiao Xian showed a little doubt. If the other party wanted him to accept a disciple, he would ask the two of them to leave here now. At this moment, Xiao 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 spoke. The daughter of Kangman Xiao family, Xiao Zhantian, Xiao 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 pays her respects to ancestor Xiao Xian. Xiao Xian is the ancestor of the Xiao family, so naturally there will be a portrait of him in the family. As a child of the Xiao family, Xiao 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 is no stranger to Xiao Xian's portrait. Otherwise, he wouldn't have shown such a shocked look when he saw Xiao Xian for the first time. Xiao Xian was somewhat suspicious. He had no children in his life, although he had many descendants. But 100,000 years have passed, so it is not impossible for someone to fake it. Therefore, he used the eye of insight to check Xiao Xiaoxiao's specific information. Xiao Xiao Xiao, the Kangmang Xiao family, Xiao Zhangtian's daughter, was born from Xiao Zhangtian and Longling. He is in the realm of God King cultivation, extremely talented, and born with a holy sword body. He is a rare gifted genius in swordsmanship. This trip was due to a family crisis, just to find the host and two ancestors, Xiao Wuxi. Xiao Xian, who got the final result, was also frightened. She is actually Xiao Zhangtian's daughter. In 100,000 years, his daughter has grown so big. Then his eyes showed a bit of care for the younger generation. I didn't expect Zhangtian's daughter to grow up so big in just 100,000 years. Xiao Xian walked to Xiao and helped her up. He looked up and down with fond eyes, full of the doting eyes of an elder doting on a younger one. Yu Ling'er on the side was shocked by this scene. Originally, she had planned to find a strong and capable person to return if she couldn't find the two ancestors of the Xiao family. Unexpectedly, by accident, I found Xiao Xian, the ancestor of the Xiao family. Xiao Xian waved his sleeves, and Yu Ling'er's body stood up. Then a stone table and 3 stone benches appeared in front of the two of them. There was a pot of tea placed on it, and the aroma of spiritual energy was faintly exuding from it. Sit. Xiao Xian motioned for the two of them to sit down. Xiao sat down beside Xiao Xian gracefully. At this moment, Yu Ling'er became a little anxious. After all, the man in front of her was a super powerful being. Although he looks very young, he can move very well. They all give people the feeling that he and the heaven and earth are one and the same. Xiao said with a smile when he saw Yu Ling'er like this. Ling'er, sit down quickly. Our ancestors are very approachable. When my father and others were practicing before, the ancestors not only gave guidance on their cultivation, but also did things for them that others would not expect. Yu Ling'er looked at Xiao, and then looked at Xiao Xian, who looked at Xiao with a caring look on his face. Then he sat down carefully, but his whole body was still tense. Xiao Xian looked at Xiao, who was only 1,000 years old and had already reached the realm of the God King. This shows how incredible his talent is. Even Xiao Tianyun and others cannot reach the realm of God Kings in 1,000 years. Although I am in the vast world, it is only within a few decades. It has accumulated 2 million years of mana, but it is all under the blessing of the system and heaven. Without these, he simply wouldn't be able to do it. Even Xiao Tianyun, Xiao Jiangxin, and others had accumulated tens of thousands of years of mana even at that time. But without the secret realm and other bonuses, they wouldn't be that fast. Not to mention millions of years of magical power, plus setting foot on the heavens. Under the double suppression of the heavenly way and the realm of cultivation, even Xiao Tianyun, who has the cultivation skills of the Huangtian Emperor, it is impossible to cultivate to this level in such a short period of time. Although when he left the vast world, Xiao Tianyun and others had accumulated 100,000 years of mana. But if you want to break through from the God Emperor to the saint in the heavens, it will take at least 10,000 years. And his 2 million years would have been without the blessing of the system and heaven. It is basically impossible for ordinary people to do this without taking the wrong path. Even if they could do it, their bodies and consciousness would not be able to bear it. And he also had a mixed physique and cultivated a 9-turn golden body. There is also the Chaos Cave world. Only with the combination of these 3 can it withstand millions of years of mana. So when I learned that Xiao only took 1,000 years to break through to the realm of the God King, Xiao Xian was surprised. Such a genius is already top-notch. Although Yu Ling'er is also a genius, it would be easier to say in this vast world. There is a little difference in the heavens. After all, the most indispensable thing in the heavens is genius. Speaking of Tianxiao, Xiao Xian couldn't help but think of those little guys. I don't know what is happening to them now, or how high their cultivation level has been. After Xiao and Yu Ling'er entered Wenjian Valley, Xiao Xian guided them into enlightenment. 3 days passed in the blink of an eye. Xiao Xiaoxiao's cultivation level reached the 8th level of the God King, and his momentum became more and more terrifying. Yu Ling'er is only 1 step away from breaking through to the God Emperor. The two woke up from their thoughts and hurriedly thanked Xiao Xian. Xiao Xian looked at the two of them with an indifferent smile. Then Xiao Xian looked at Yu Ling. Originally, since you brought Xiao to find me, I should have helped you break through the God Emperor. But because of your previous inappropriate remarks, even though they were just outspoken, this does not excuse your disrespectful remarks. Therefore, I will only help you break through to this point, which can be regarded as punishment for your previous disrespectful remarks. Yu Ling's face turned pale when she heard this. She knew very well how egregious her previous behavior was. If it weren't for Xiao Xiaoxio's face, it would have been when she said those words. It must have been torn apart by the roaring sky dog. Thinking of this, she felt goosebumps all over her body. Then he hurriedly knelt on the ground and said, "Thank you, Senior, for your generosity. I am grateful, Junior." At this time, she didn't want Xiao to plead for herself. After all, it was her fault in the first place. "Okay, you can go out first. I still have some household questions to ask." Xiao Xian said calmly, with no warmth at all in his expression. It was too late for Yu Ling to regret it now. Not only did she miss the opportunity to break through to the Divine Emperor realm, but she also missed the opportunity to be taught by the ancestor of the Xiao family. This is a very rare opportunity. So she was very upset about why she said such inappropriate words. Without those words, she would not have been called out by the ancestor of the Xiao family. Thinking of this, Yu Ling immediately felt annoyed at her lack of restraint. But when she saw the monkey wine in her hand, she felt relieved again. At least monkey wine can help her break through. After Yu Ling left, Xiao Xian had a soft smile on his face. The eyes are also full of doting for the younger generation. This is Xiao Xian, who can be gentle to his descendants to the core. To outsiders, he can be as indifferent as 10,000 years of mysterious ice. "Tell me about the situation in the family." Xiao smiled happily, "Okay." Ever since Xiao Xian broke into the heavens, Xiao Tianyun also spent 100 years breaking into the heavens. This time when he left, he took away most of the strange buildings in the Xiao family. In the following 100 years, Xiao Jiangxin also broke through and left, and with her were the 9 elders. Immediately afterwards, Jamal Xiao, Xiao Yanyao, Xiao Yan and others left one after another. Several hundred years later, Xiao Qingyun's Nanming Holy Dynasty expanded to a vast territory. Having completed the evolution of the royal court, he then left with the royal court. The strong men of the Xiao family also entered the royal court this time and left with Xiao Qingyun. After tens of thousands of years in the heavens, Xiao Tianyun, Xiao Jiamian, and Xiao Jiangxin met. The 3 of them chose a location as the residence of the Xiao family, and took root here and developed in a low-key manner. In the next 1,000 years, Xiao Zhangtian also came to the heavens with the dragon spirit. And found Xiao Tianyun and others, but the other Xiao family geniuses were living outside. Although the Xiao family is developing in a low-key manner, its development situation has attracted the covetousness of other major forces. Speaking of this, Xiao Xiaoxio's face was filled with deep sadness. Thousands of years ago, a rare and unparalleled genius named Xiao Yi appeared in our clan. His physique is a Taoist body that has been difficult to achieve for hundreds of millions of years. However, because he participated in an arena competition while training outside, she was spotted by the holy son of Ziyun fire sect and was taken back directly to prepare to marry her. Yi's character naturally won't agree, but the other party is the most powerful force in the ancient stars. Not only are there powerful people in the supreme realm, but they are also backed by powerful bosses. No one dared to provoke them at all, and they relied on their great power too. Ignoring the consent of the Xiao family, she forcibly married Xiao Yi. As for coming to look for you, my ancestor, I also accidentally heard my father chatting with Uncle Xiao Tianyun. As long as we find you and ancestor Xiao Wuxi, this crisis will be solved. So you come here from your family. No matter how many stars are between you. Xiao Xian looked at her with some emotion. The innocent heart rides the wind and waves. Xiao Xiaoxiu's body softened, and he half crouched in front of Xiao Xian, holding his arm and shaking it gently. Ancestor, just come forward and save Yi Yi. She has never been a genius for hundreds of millions of years. Even Xiao Xian couldn't bear this coquettish tone and demeanor. He pinched Xiao Xiaoxiu's nose lovingly. She is a genius, and so are you. She may not be able to produce a top talent in hundreds of millions of years. Ancestor, please help me. Why don't you come back with me? Uncle Xiao Tianyun and father will also be very happy to see you. Even Xiao Tianyun and others have never seen Xiao look like this. It was because Xiao Xian felt so close to her that she couldn't help but act coquettishly. Xiao Xian shook his head. I can't leave Wenjian Valley within these 100 years. Xiao Xiaoxiu's face fell when he heard this. Why? Then he realized that Xiao Xian had his own reasons for not being able to leave. At this moment, her face was instantly replaced by frustration. I thought that finding the ancestor would solve the family crisis. As a result, the ancestor couldn't come forward. How can this be done? Is Xiao Yi destined to be unable to escape the fate of being forcibly taken away from her? Thinking of this, tears filled Xiao's deer-like eyes. Xiao Xian was at a loss and smiled helplessly. You girl, just because I said I can't come forward doesn't mean I can't take action. You haven't come forward, how can you take action? Xiao turned away angrily. Xiao Xian smiled angrily. Yes. He still has to coax this little ancestor. Your father and the others never questioned me, but you doubted my coming. You only need to show this scroll to your father, and this crisis will be solved. Xiao Xian handed Xiao a painting, and the other party frowned and looked at Xiao Xian with suspicion. Can you do this? You won't lie to me. The other party is Ziyun Fire Sect. There is a powerful person in the Supreme Realm sitting in charge. Xiao Xian scraped her nose in punishment, making Xiao touch her nose in pain. Have you forgotten what your father said? Since he can say this, it proves that I have this ability. Not to mention the killing of the Supreme Realm in this scroll, even the Taoist realm is no match for him. Xiao looked at the faint smile on Xiao Xian's face, and felt an inexplicable sense of security in his heart. I will go back and give the scroll to my father and uncle. When the crisis is over, I will bring my uncle and father to see you. They will be very happy. Xiao saluted Xiao Xian with the scroll, and then left quickly. Looking at Xiao Xiaoxiu's cheerful back, Xiao Xian's expression returned to indifference. Bai Fang, follow her. Although Xiao Xian cannot leave, these divine beasts can move around at will. If it weren't for the fact that they couldn't transform yet, Xiao Xian would have asked them to look for the Xiao family. Now there are still 100 years left before the 100,000-year check-in, this 100 years. Xiao Xian is ready to practice hard so that he can compete with the young emperor.